You don't actually need me to stand for anything. You just need me to stand. To be the strong man, the man of action. My God, you're addicted to action and slogans. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what I do. Just as long as I'm doing something, you're happy to be along for the ride. And frankly, I don't blame you. With all the foolishness and indecision in your lives, why not a man like me? I don't apologize. In the end, I don't care whether you love me or you hate me, just as long as I win. The deck is stacked. The rules are rigged. Welcome to the death of the age of reason. There is no right or wrong. Not anymore. There's only being in and then being out.
Can you be weak but strong at the same time? Yes, you can. You can. Because you can be, for instance, you can be physically strong, but at the same time, you could be mentally weak, or you could be the opposite. You could be mentally weak, but at the same time, physically strong. And I would love to be able to put a priority on one of those. And I know I've said before that knowledge is the most important thing, but the reality is if you don't have the strength or actually the health to back that up or even to function as a human being physically, then your knowledge and your mental strength doesn't really even matter. That comes into play. And being big and strong is also totally useless if you're mentally weak and you quit.
A lot of you are trying to find inspiration and motivation with a depressed mindset. You're depressed because you're not doing it with yourself. You don't find inspiration by not living in the grip of life. You need to live in the grip of life to find inspiration. Put challenges in front of yourself. When you put a challenge in front of yourself and you attack it, that's where you find inspiration. Try to be 10% better than you were last week. So if you're running 30 miles a week, run 33. If you're swimming 500 meters, swim 550. If some of you aren't doing shit, your 10% is just getting off the fucking couch. The more you walk away from accountability, the weaker you become. Find yourself in the grip of life. You can't find yourself by doing nothing.
We agreed not to drink, we didn't do drugs, like we didn't date, we didn't do anything. We just literally obsessed from the time we woke up to the time we went to bed. That's literally all we did. It's wild. Like, I've told this story before, but for people who didn't listen to our other podcasts, like one day I literally got up and we had an 18-hour Skype call and then I went to bed and that's all I did. And we were just tearing apart YouTube videos, studying trends and stuff like that. I don't even know how I got food. Like, pretty sure I was just ordering food so I didn't even have to leave my house so we could keep working.
That most men live lives of quiet desperation. It's one of my favorite quotes ever because it's true. And I've been that guy. You're just in this world where you just can't wait to just run away.
And how do people get stuck there? How do you think they get stuck there?
Bills.
Bills, like financial bills?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Bills and commitment. You have an apartment you have to pay for. You have a car you leased. You have a wife that you have to feed. You have a child you have to raise. You have your mortgage. You have your this. You have your that. And that's where it all comes from.
You're going to lose sleep. You'll doubt whether it'll work. You'll stress to make ends meet. You won't finish your to-do list. You'll wonder whether you made the right call and have no way to know for years. This is what hard feels like, and that's okay. Everything worth doing is hard, and the more worth doing it is, the harder it is. The greater the payoff, the greater the hardship. If it's hard, good. It means no one else will do it. More for you.
I am not like everybody else. I don't want to be like everybody else. I have something inside which is burning. And I look around and this life and everything I see is not for me. I'm supposed to be something different. I have to be something different. And I'm going to change my life with bodybuilding. I don't know exactly how it's going to change, but I can continue down this road with and be a criminal or not. And I have something else. The other guys, maybe they don't have something else. I have something here and I want to do this. And hey, maybe I can be like a, I don't know, British champion one day. Maybe I can have my own gym. This was how I started, you know, and then quickly I got very successful.
You have to learn to cap success. So what I do is, like right now, I don't like doing podcasts. There's a lot of things I don't do that I have to do now to get the message out there to help people out. And what I mean by capping success, I believe everybody should live their life. So everything that someone says in life, take it with a grain of salt. Take what they give and don't be like, oh, David Goggins said this or whoever said this. No, do not take what I say and do exactly what I say.
Everybody wants these abs through life, right? Everybody wants a six-pack because in this world, man, image is everything. If you got abs, it means you're in shape. But you gotta go after and make that happen. That opportunity doesn't just present itself. Opportunities don't come knocking on the door. They present themselves when you knock the fucking door down. So today we're gonna go in there, we're gonna start planting the seeds of the harvest and we're gonna bear fruits of later. It doesn't just happen one day. You don't just wake up with abs every day, but it comes every single day, man. It's called perseverance. Every day showing up, hitting your fucking dues. It's not gonna happen one day where you just wake up and have them, man. You gotta earn that shit. You gotta take what's yours. You can't expect someone to give it to you. Progression, man, is a key to happiness. Always in a progressive state of progress. You stop progressing and stop moving towards progress, then all of a sudden you lose purpose in life. When you're always moving forward and having a belief in something, then all of a sudden what you're doing actually has purpose, and that makes it very valuable.
We are overcoming the suffering. We are not running away from the suffering. You are overcoming it. You go through it until you have become so strong. Your body becomes so strong. Your mind has become so strong that it doesn't matter afterwards anymore. You feel it, but it's not the same like you felt before. So therefore, how to translate this into our nowadays lifetime? Maybe it means we need to make us stronger again. Very simply said. This society is too weak. And why? Because of all the technology which is available right now, so you don't need to use your body anymore. I always think about in the Stone Ages.
Now, being mentally strong should actually lead you to being physically strong, because if you are mentally strong, then you can work and train to become physically strong. But if you're mentally weak, then you will not hold the line on the good foods and the good workouts, and you won't get physically strong or healthy. So, can you be weak and strong at the same time? Yes, but I say be strong.
Well, the opportunity takes place usually when you're young and you don't have any responsibility. That's when you have your options. Well, your options are severely limited the more you gather responsibilities. Like if I had to, as a 51-year-old father of 3, married man, pays taxes, has a house and a mortgage and a business and all that jazz. If I had to quit everything now and struggle the way I struggled as a stand-up comedian, it would never work. But the only way I could be this person now is if I took that chance when I was 21, when I was dead broke and had my cars repossessed and all that stuff. That's the only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous, and most people want to take the safe path. And the safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation almost every time. It's hell.
So there's a lot of pockets of weakness nowadays, and we try to fill those pockets with lies. I did it for many years. So I'm out here in Colorado for a conference. I go to the gym, and this trainer calls me over to talk to this group of people he's training. He says, "Hey man, what are you doing out here?" So I tell him. He says, "What kind of workouts are you doing?" I said, "Well, one workout I'm doing is I'm climbing up this mountain, 3,000 feet in 3 miles. Because I do that every day." So the next day I'm out looking for him. Didn't see him. A couple days later, looking for him. Didn't see him. So here I am on the mountain again, climbing it. And there's a gondola that takes you up, takes you down. I'm going up it. I see a gondola. I'm about 5 minutes from the top. I look up at the gondola. I see him, face pressed up against the window, looking at me. Our eyes meet. It's called a look. When you take a motherfucker's soul, don't talk about it, be about it. Practice what you preach.
2 years, people were telling me I was the best bodybuilder in the country. I did then win the British Championship to get the pro status. So it was not something where I wanted to attract the girls, or I wanted to be stronger to protect myself, because I was already okay. Mm-hmm. This was not the motivation. The motivation was to change my life, because what I see around me is not for me. I don't want to have a normal job. I don't want to be unemployed. I don't want to get a wife and a kid and a small house and a job and a normal life, whatever's normal, but that's average existence. It was not for me. I knew I was going to do something different, and I knew I had to put like my heart and soul into this bodybuilding. I had to change my life. I had to. I didn't want to. I had to. It was my destiny.
And it's not about going out and lifting weights and getting a bunch of tattoos and wearing leather jackets and walking around with your chest and shoulders up, hulking around saying, I'm dangerous. That's very rarely is that a dangerous man. Often the most dangerous man in the room is the quietest man in the room. When we were in Wyoming, this last trip, I was talking to the neighbor behind me. He's the manager of all this grazing land, ranch land, and across the road he and his wife had just a few head of sheep, not very many, 10 or 12. And we were talking about, and he was talking about, this is here and this is over here, and he said, "Now I don't recommend you go over and check out the sheep." He has one of those Great Pyrenees dogs over there. He said that dog doesn't know you, and he might eat you up. Protecting those sheep.
When I found you in that jail, you were lost. But I believed in you. I took away your fear, and I showed you a path. You are my greatest student. It should be you standing by my side, saving the world.
I'll be standing where I belong. Between you and the people of Gotham.
No one can save Gotham. Guns down by one of the very people they were trying to help. Create enough hunger and everyone becomes a criminal. Their deaths galvanized the city into saving itself, and Gotham has limped on ever since. We are back to finish the job. This time no misguided idealists will get in the way. Like your father, you lack the courage to do all that is necessary. If someone stands in the way of true justice, you simply walk up behind them and stab them in the heart.
Train your physical strength and exercise your mental strength by doing the right things, the hard things. The things you know you're supposed to do. Do them. And be as strong as you can mentally, physically, and emotionally for yourself, for your team, for your family. Hold the line and be strong.
Perseverance will always override potential, always override genetics. And perseverance isn't this marathon of life. It's not this long race that we have to pursue. It's a lot of short races, back to back to back. Every day we get up and we fight for it. And we plant those seeds in the ground of what we want to bear fruits on. So what I got here, guys, is 20 exercises you probably haven't seen before. All these exercises are going to move and shake and create those opportunities we want. If you're willing to go through the pain here, if you're willing to sacrifice today, that sweat equity today for tomorrow's betterment, meaning you're willing to plant that seed on fertile ground of something that you want to see, blossom in your fruits of your labor that you can harvest later. It begins today, guys. You must be that person now that you want others to remember you by later. Ab assault. Get ready.
The biggest thing you have to do is shut off technology. You have to go dark. What I mean by that is you have to be quiet in your mind. Get away from people. We love being around people. We love talking. We love parties. We love all that shit. It's okay to be alone. It's also okay to be unhappy. It's okay to be unhappy sometimes, man. It's okay to say, you know what, man, I'm fucked up. So you gotta go to the truth first. Who are you? Get really accountable and say, okay, who am I? What's the truth about me? Get to that dark place in your mind. Figure out, it may take months, it may take years. Figure out your purpose. Figure out what you want to be in life.
You know, I really don't have regrets. I am a person that says, you know, as soon as you look back in your history and you come up with something that you feel like you want to change, something else has to change. You know, so.
What about your biggest disappointment?
Once again, that's the same analogy. You know, disappointment to me, to win, you gotta lose. To be successful, you gotta have something that's not successful. To be happy, you gotta have disappointment. So I think all of those things have evolved and happened to make me who I am and understand the benefits and the privileges I have for being who I am.
Everybody's on their own path. And I don't want to judge someone for wanting to be free and easy. I just want you to understand that there's a cost to that. And the cost that you're going to have to that isn't going to come until later. All right? So really the truth is, most people need to shut the fuck up and focus on that version of themselves they want to become and actually be willing to become it. And that's what's ultimately going to create the fulfillment that you're looking for. It's not going to be your cold plunge. It's not going to be your morning routine. It's not going to be your journaling. It's not going to be your grounding. It's not going to be your granola lunch. It's not going to be you living in the fucking van. It's not going to be your therapy. It's going to be the work that you fucking do to become that version of yourself that is the exact version that you know you're supposed to become, and then being proud of it. That's what's going to create the fulfillment that you're searching for. And all of this other shit is just band-aid shit to try and fix something that you know is a real problem in yourself.
I need to make peace with it, and there is no shame to admit that you're afraid, because there's no courage without fear. And when I made peace with that, it changes everything in my life, because I made peace. And I said it to even in my opponents, like, yeah, I'm scared of you, but no matter what, I'm gonna freaking walk the walk on Saturday night, and there's nothing you can do. And the way you counter fear, whether you're a fighter, an entrepreneur, or whatever, it's with the preparation. The more well you prepare, the more you will build up your confidence. And if you have confidence, remember, confidence is not the absence of fear. It's knowing that you have what you need in order to succeed.
Honestly, like looking back on my life, it's almost like a movie that played out, that was predetermined. Deep down, I knew this was going to happen. I knew that I was destined for something different. And that was the motivation. Change my life. Get out of this, everything what's around me. I don't want it. And for me, this was a huge motivation. Do or die, really, like, this is not for me. So, and this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm good at. And I love doing it.
I started getting the idea that that was weakness. And now, when you see someone that is in control, and even when bad things are happening, they're standing stoically saying, okay, let me take another look at that and I'll get it done. You know what I mean? When they're just, okay, then you realize, okay, this guy is really unflappable, which is a lot more impressive. Yeah. So, again, you got to be able to detach from this. And, you know, I like to take pride in the fact that I'm going to keep my cool no matter what happens. And definitely, once you're in the SEAL teams, you definitely want to be that guy that's keeping it cool no matter what's happening. Yeah. Whether it's people are doing the wrong thing, or you just want to be the guy that's, hey, okay, come back over here, we need to redo this. You just want to be that guy. Yeah. That's way more impressive than the guy that says, I can't believe this. Don't be that person.
Okay, I have my purpose. It may take a long time. No one knows their purpose because it's too loud. Find your purpose. From there, all right, you gotta start planning. People love the planning phase because it's very comfortable. And then from the planning phase, you gotta go to execution. So the execution phase will be all hate, because that's where the real work begins, and that's when the failure happens, and the failure. So, but you know, that's kind of how you have to do it.
Yeah. You have to have a plan, and you have to spend all your waking hours outside of whatever shit job you do planning your escape. And you have to come to the realization very clearly that you fucked up and you got yourself stuck. So whatever you're doing, you have to do it like your life depends on it. And whether it is you're trying to be an author, and if you're gonna try to be an author and you're working 8 hours a day plus commuting plus family responsibilities or whatever else you have, whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. That 1.5 hours a day that you have to write, God damn, you better be caffeinated and motivated. You got to go. You got to get after it. And you got to have discipline. Most people don't have those things. Most people don't understand what it's like to really go for something. And to know that the consequences of not doing that are horrific.
You know, don't wear your reputation, don't wear your accolades, don't wear your personality on your sleeve. Let it happen, let it be you. It is who you are. Don't hide from it, but don't wear it rubbing in people's faces. So, when you sit there and you say, well, in 1990 or 2005, they voted me as like the best or the most popular athlete. Well, it's ironic that I'm the youngest of the three. So in essence, it's all relevated on who is watching now. If you ask 20 years from now, I'm pretty sure LeBron may beat me, based on who's going to be making the voting. So I say that to understand that.
A good analogy is, if I talk to young student at school, I'm telling them, if you have an exam a Friday and you study very hard, yes, you will still be afraid Friday, the day of the exam, but you have the right to be confident, to walk in there with confidence, even though you're afraid. But if you have not studied, you will be afraid, but you don't have the right to be confident because you didn't do the work. You didn't put in the work. And confidence, whether you're a fighter, an entrepreneur, whatever you do, whether even in any situation, even if you go ask a girl on a date, confidence, whatever you do, it's the most important thing. One of the most important things. You need the skills, the preparation, and the confidence.
Right now, it becomes harder every day. The more you get paid nicely, the more you buy nicer things, the more you go from sleeping on fucked up cots to sleeping on fucking, mattresses that are formed to your shape of your body and heat temperatured and silk sheets and all this shit, man. Man, it's hard to get out of bed with some silk sheets, brother. And that fucks people up. That's why I ain't got silk sheets. And this is the thing about it. I started going through a time in my life where I started becoming more successful. With more success, it became harder for me to be Goggins. So what I started doing was I went back to the old school. Like I said, nothing is learned at the top of a mountain. I had to go back to where David Goggins was fat in his mind. And I said, how did you get to where you are? I became feelingless.
And one thing that everybody has to overcome to be able to do this is, am I going to do what I feel like doing? Or am I going to choose to do the things I need to do to accomplish the goal and the vision that I have? This is a huge hurdle for everybody. Because how many times have you heard somebody say, I don't feel like doing that? Doesn't matter what you feel like. You got to make choices and decisions based on what you want to accomplish and what you want to do. You got to be committed to it, and it's got to be important to you if you're able to do that. The other thing that people get affected by so much is, are you able to focus on the vision that you have, or are you going to get affected by the circumstance that you're in all the time?
You got to have a purpose no matter what you do in life. You got to have a purpose. So that's rule number one, have a vision. Rule number two is, don't listen to the naysayers. Everything I ever did, the thing that I heard out of people's mouth was, that's impossible. That can't be done. Or no. I remember when I wanted to be a bodybuilding champion, including my parents and everyone else around me, said this is impossible. Why don't you become a ski champion? That's what they do in Austria. Or a bicycle champion, they'll do some track and field. You can't be a bodybuilding champion. That is exactly what I heard, and of course I proved to the people that it can't be done. So whenever someone said to me, it can't be done, I heard it can be done. When they said no, I heard yes. And when they said it's impossible, I heard it is possible. Because I am a strong believer.
There's no combatant, true combatant, that has never gotten to the point where there's nothing left. When there's no physical strength left. When there's no energy left. when there's no speed left, when there's no joy left in that fight. All they have left is the will to get back up again. And they don't know how they're going to pick their fist up. They don't know how they're going to move their feet. They don't know how they're going to take another swing. They don't know if they're going to be able to get up when that next punch hits them in that fight.
I think people now, they don't like hard work.
Mm-hmm.
They want to have the result.
Yeah.
But they don't want to take the journey. And it's the journey which makes you, not the result. It's the journey which strengthens you. When you push yourself to the limits, and you push yourself to the limits, and you find out about yourself, and you become stronger because you overcome, and you build strength. I don't see that in a lot of kids these days. Everything's too easy, too accessible, and it's almost too much information, where everyone wants the technical information. Yeah, okay, I can give it to you, but you got to work hard. There's no way to go around this. There's no magic tricks. You're going to work hard. You're going to push yourself. You're going to be sweating. You're going to be in pain if you want to be successful. And this is for everything, not just bodybuilding, everything, life. Everything is too easy now. People are weak.
Show you or reveal to you that your temper is about to be lost. What are they? Is it you clench your fists, right? Is it you raise your voice and you start doing that stuff? Do you start to heavy breathing? Do you flare your nostrils, right? Because that's an animal thing where you're going to take in more oxygen, so you open up the nostrils because you're about to get after it. Do you, does your head, shaking or whatever? Just like these things. What is it? What indicators do you have when you know that you're starting to feel that? And as soon as you feel that, you detach. You go, oh, that's what that is. That's an indicator, and it's a weakness. And I don't like weakness, so I'm not going to allow it.
I have to cap my success, because for me to help people out, I can't just say I did it once and I'm good. I have to continue to reinvent the wheel of the mind and figure out more and more ways for you to pull. Because if I have a cookie cutter message, it may hit 5 people out of 25. You just failed. My message needs to be in a way where I can hit all 25 people. It needs to be broad enough to where all 25 people may not like the message, but they're getting something from it. And that is evolution. You must continue to evolve. And you don't evolve, for me, in my job, unless I cap myself somewhere and say, okay, you made this much money, get back to fucking work. It's time to get back to work. Stop hearing yourself talk, get off the podcast, don't be on social media too much, cut out all the fucking noise, get back to the fucking mental lab, because that's where the knowledge came from.
The bar for excellence has never been so low. Most of your competition quits after the first sign of difficulty because they've never known what hard feels like. If it's hard for you, it's hard for everyone. And most people avoid hard things, which is why you can beat most people by just trying.
The guy that gets out and explores, right, what's going to happen is he's going to be in a situation where he's like the baddest of the bad. He's the top dog. And he's going to cruise for those spots of life. But then you get in other portions of life where he's a small man on the totem pole, where he has to really up his game to even survive. Well, that shock, that forcing him changing that situation, forces him to evaluate what his strengths and weaknesses are, so he can apply effort into what his weaknesses are to grow that chain, that weak link, improving so the chain of life is stronger. That's what's going to happen. Even though both brothers have the genetic capability of achieving both, the guy who's traveling is going to be more closer to reaching his full potential than the person who's sitting at home, because the person at home is only going to be challenged by his immediate surroundings. So therefore his potential will only rise up to a level by the competing potential. Where the guy that's traveling, the potential's all over the place. So it's challenging. So he has to grow and reach in his max potential, not the max potential of the environment, his max individual potential.
When I was going through training, we had to carry these heavy ass boats on our heads. We had 6 people carrying these boats. The heaviest part of the boat was in the front. So those weaker people would always look for the very back of the boat. The back of the boat is where the boat would barely be touching your head. We had a name for it. We call it duck and boat. A lot of people put their head down, crouch under it, so that boat wouldn't be breaking your fucking neck. A lot of people in life out here are riding the back of the boat. They're ducking that fucking weight. You're part of a team, but you're the weakest person in that team. And everybody knows you're ducking the boat. You don't want that boat to touch your head. You don't want to hurt your neck. But you want to be part of the team, but you don't want to do any fucking work. In life, it's important to not always draft. Sometimes you gotta lead and block the fucking wind. Stay hard.
You want to get through that moment. Nod your head slowly in the affirmative. Right? So when someone's telling me something that's making me mad, I'll just slowly nod my head like, I understand. This is the way things are. I accept this. And this is, I'm calculating what my next move is going to be. And then, you see whatever, guys will count to 10. You tell your little kids that. Tell your little kids when they start losing their temper, you need to count to 10. Count to 10. Count to 100. Count to 1,000, whatever it is you got to do. And get control, because, like I said, if you're losing control, it's not strength, it's weakness.
So they get up. They get up. And do they look triumphant? No. Do they look all shiny-faced? No. Do they walk around in tailored suits talking about their private aircraft? No. Do they talk about their private collection of cars and their $50,000 watches? No. They look like hell. They feel like hell. But they fight like hell. We all do.
What the hell are we all waiting for to start attacking life? Waiting for the fucking stars to align? Back when I was growing up, the song came out. All I need is a miracle. Well, guess what? That miracle ain't coming. There is no perfect time to start. You gotta start now with changing your life. We're all being tested in life. And guess what? This is one test you can't cheat on. We all have our own test. Some of us are obese. Some of us are depressed. Some of us are insecure. In the military, we had this big old rucksack on the back. Had batteries, water, extra gear. Your extra gear is the shit you're dealing with in life. And the only way to overcome it is for you and you alone to face it. You have to do your best work when you're least motivated. So those days you don't want to do it, guess what you gotta do? You gotta suck it the fuck up and do it. Stay hard.
If I'm running on a treadmill and I get to mile 9 and I get complete cramp in one of my legs, and I know I've told myself I'm going to run 10 kilometers today, he goes, I will have to limp the last mile, even if no one's watching, because I can't let the demons in. And if I let the demons in, they'll show up in the 11th round of a championship fight when there's 50,000 people watching me in the audience, and I know deep in my self-story that I'm the type of person that quits when things get hard because I got off that treadmill at mile 9 when no one was watching. It would modify my self-story. The commitments we keep to ourselves and what we do when no one's watching is the most persuasive evidence that governs everything we then do every day thereafter.
What would you tomorrow want you today to do? You tomorrow would want you to keep that promise to yourself. And it's why discipline is so much more valuable. I remember this conversation between Jocko Willink and Sam Harris 6 years ago. And they're talking about how you can't fake bravery. Because if you do a thing in spite of being scared of doing the thing, that is bravery. Right? There's no such thing as fake bravery. Like if you do the thing and you're scared, that's bravery. If you don't do the thing and you weren't scared, that's not bravery, right? The same thing goes for discipline. Doing the thing in spite of not wanting to do the thing is discipline, right? You don't need motivation to get yourself up to go and do a thing. Make the promise small, build it up step by step. Know that you are going to have setbacks, and this is my favorite rule from James Clear, which is a habit missed once is a mistake. A habit missed twice is the start of a new habit. Never miss 2 days in a row.
I think it's my strongest point, it's my mind. Pierce, the numbers, they don't lie. If you see during the last 15 years, my level is always kind of the same. So effort, dedication, work hard, because the talent is not enough anymore. And if you don't dedicate it 100%, you're not gonna reach the level that you want.
And sometimes all the voices are telling you the wrong shit, man. But through years, not a podcast or listening to a book or reading a book, years of sacrifice, of suffering, of diligent, pinpoint fucking work on what you want to do for yourself. Not like, oh, let me just do a bunch of shit. I want to be in every task possible. No. Pinpoint what I want to do with my life. What happens is you have all these voices that are telling you you're fucked up and this is gonna be hard, but for some reason, you put so much practice into you that you can ignore every one of them that are telling you you're not gonna fucking make it and still be able to fucking make it. Because you have put the practice in that you know this is the process.
I think the vast majority of people don't actually know what it looks like to put tremendous effort into something. And I think one of the most valuable things that the office, which now you're going to have, has given me is the people who now work in my proximity. One of the number one things that I get back as feedback is like, I really didn't understand how much he works. And like, he doesn't stop. And it's easy to say these things, and it's hard to actually, because one of the difficulty is, especially the vast majority of successful people have one thing in common, which is they're consistent. And consistency you cannot see in a snapshot.
I want you to think of our entire history of me always winning and you always losing. And when you finish doing that, you'll realize that it doesn't really matter what you do, because whatever it is, it's going to be the wrong decision. See, that's exactly what I was talking about. All I had was 10 high. Not only did you lose, but you have to sit here on tilt for the rest of the night while I take the rest of your money. Because like I said, poker isn't about playing the odds. It's about playing the man. Oh, I have to say, that was impressive. Well, Steven, I didn't beat him to impress you. I beat him because that's what I do. I don't follow orders. I don't bend a knee. I win.
A harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a very, very dangerous man who has that under voluntary control. And you know, you also see that, like one of the central female stories, let's say, if the hero archetype is the central male story, there are variants of hero archetypes that are relevant to women, and one of them is Beauty and the Beast. And you know, Beauty isn't interested in the guy who isn't the Beast. She's interested in the guy who's the Beast, and that's exactly right, but she's interested in the guy who's the Beast that can be civilized and disciplined, right, and who can use that in the service, well, let's say, of a family. And that's exactly, well, that's exactly how it should be.
It's raining outside, it's cold outside, but you don't want to put those long hours in at work? That's what I'm talking about. Your feelings must go away. When you know everybody's gone home to their families, but you know, you want to be the top salesperson in the world, or you want to be the fucking best lawyer in the world, whatever the fuck it is, when everybody leaves to go home and there's only one light on in a building, a 15-story building, and only one office. Every office is fucking dark. There's one office with one light on, and as those motherfuckers go from the club, they look up every day, 2 o'clock in the morning, they see that, and that fucking light's always on. That's the motherfucker right there you gotta be. You can't have feelings about when everybody leaves. Oh man, I wish I was going home to my beautiful family. That is true. But you gotta learn to shut your feelings off if you want to achieve greatness.
I want to be able to go through a day or go through a week not worrying about what I gotta do Wednesday, what I gotta do Thursday, what I gotta do, because I never enjoy Monday. I want to be able to, and sometimes I surprise myself saying, look, I got nothing to do today. Oh, I got nothing to do tomorrow. I got nothing to do on Wednesday. That to me is ultimately retirement. That's where I want to be. And if I choose to get involved in things, then hey, I want to go to Charlotte. I want to see what's happening with the team. Or I want to go to Portland and spend a week out in Portland, blah, blah, blah. But not to where, my moment, the moment that I'm living right now, I'm worried about what I have to do tomorrow. And that's where my life was getting.
N equals X, and it's like, and if I want 10X, I do 10N. I'm like, great, then can we do 1,000N? Like, I just want to do as much of that as I humanly possible. But when we, I love competitors who like optimizing, because I always see it as a weakness. because it's so easy to exploit. It's like, oh, you need your 8 hours of sleep, or you need your morning routine, or if you don't have your supplements, you're just totally fucked. Or like, I didn't have my coffee this morning, so I can't function. Like, I love to compete against people like that because they're so easy to break.
It's fragile.
Yeah. And so what happens is the optimizations become superstition.
It's more important to own your weaknesses. You have to really triple down on those, man. Because why? You want to become a full human being. We like to run away from weaknesses. Like, for instance, if you're good at running, all you want to do is run. If you're great at reading, you have several books. But we don't do those things that we're not good at. So for me, I realized, man, like, I keep on running away from these things I'm not good at. I have to dive into these things. I have to become one with these things. And that's what happened. And so I own them both.
A person's strengths are often their biggest weaknesses. And so that also means that their weaknesses can be their strengths. So, me, I am weak. In all those ways that I listed, I am weak. But I don't accept that. I don't accept that I am what I am and that is what I'm doomed to be. No, I don't accept that. I'm fighting. I'm always fighting. I'm struggling and I'm scrapping and I'm kicking and clawing at those weaknesses to change them, stop them.
What I say about body language, your body has a language of its own. And the faster you can learn that and learn how your body's working and get in sync with it, the faster it's telling you what it wants to do. It's telling you, hey man, don't work me today, I'm just too tired, you're overtraining me, or I need more food, or this or that. It has a language of its own. If we can learn that language and apply what we know education-wise on how the body works, combine those efforts and back end it with desire, we're going to achieve any goal we want. But these guys, so when I say about proper form, is like if you're not feeling the muscle burning, if you don't feel that pump, then you're not working it, man. You're really not working it. And you guys say, oh, let's put more weight on it, let's start throwing this stuff up. And the whole time you're just growing more and more of the problem. You know, that out of proportion look, you know, that weak point training it's only weak because you're not hitting it. You know, that's why it's weak, because you're not hitting it as much as the other portions of our body.
Do you think somebody in the Stone Ages had depression? Yeah, or even a more modern variation, the Spartans. Do you think they had depression? You know, maybe you are laughing, but all of these groups, they are too busy with their body, they are too busy with activity to be depressed. Yeah, but nowadays, how does the time look? You can sit if you want from morning till evening just in front of the screen, and nothing's gonna happen anymore.
Once again, not every message I have is for everybody. So as weak or soft people out there who want to pick apart the messages, just tune it out. Life ain't about medals, ain't about fucking certificates, it ain't about houses, money, cars, fame, all that bullshit. It's about scars. So when you get judged, when everything is said and done with, you won't get judged on your medals. You get judged on your scars. Those scars show your willingness to get to the other side. They show your failures. They show your willingness to start from scratch. They show what you're willing to do to go the distance, to see what you're capable of. So make sure in life, don't be afraid to get scars. Stay hard.
Some days I win. Some days I don't. But each and every day, I get back up and I move forward with my fists clenched toward the battle, toward the struggle. And I fight with everything I've got to overcome those weaknesses and those shortfalls and those flaws, as I strive to be just a little bit better today than I was yesterday.
Did you think I'd forgotten you? Perhaps you hoped I had. Don't waste a breath mourning Miss Barnes. Every kitten grows up to be a cat. They seem so harmless at first. Small, quiet, lapping up their saucer of milk. But once their claws get long enough, they draw blood. Sometimes from the hand that feeds them. For those of us climbing to the top of the food chain, there can be no mercy. There is but one rule. Hunt or be hunted. Welcome back.
You chose this path. It's a damn hard one. You chose it. You owe it to yourself to see it through.
Did you expect it not to be hard? Did you expect this thing that you're trying to achieve not to be difficult? Every other person feels the exact same way.
This is your new life. Take it or leave it. There's no happiness about it. There's no peace behind it.
You want to become best. You want to become champion. And now you want to say like you tired? Who cares? You tired or not? Nobody cares about you.
Why are you doing this? I said, why are you doing this?
Because you can't win, Rock. This guy will kill you to death inside of 3 rounds.
You're crazy. He's just another fighter.
No, he ain't just another fighter. This guy is a wrecking machine, and he's hungry. Hell, you ain't been hungry since you won that belt.
You finally made it to the big leagues, and now you want to chill? Now you got the big head? Now you can't grind? You here now.
Set up a schedule and just do the work. Free from how you feel.
Most people, the bottom 80%, are lazy, and they're looking for an easy way. They're looking for a shortcut to be successful, and there aren't any. But if you do something repeatedly, over and over, you develop a habit. So most people are in the habit of looking for easy ways to get the things they want.
And so many people just want it the easy way. I'm sorry, man. It's not. You need to fucking work harder. You need to fucking discipline your mind better.
The hardest things are usually the best. If it's easy, leave it to somebody else, okay?
What I want you to consider is that every single time you go and do something hard, that's the story you've told yourself, that it's easier said than done. You know, it's kind of hard to do that. Well, it's supposed to be fucking hard. Look, if growing stronger and building muscle were fucking easy, you'd have no reason to go to the gym. There would be no growth if there was no challenge.
Sometimes, your body just hurts, your legs hurt, you're sore, but that's how you get better. The only way that you can get better is by pushing yourself beyond what you believe you're capable of doing.
It doesn't matter if you're stressed. It doesn't matter if you're hurt. It doesn't matter if you're upset. It doesn't matter if you're frustrated. If your discipline is on point and your mental toughness on point, you're going to be able to execute in spite of the situation being that way. Everybody else quits when things get hard.
I think success in fighting in life is about desire and the will.
Yeah.
How bad do you want it? Is it worth dying for? That's the true greatness, is the willingness to die. So is this thing worth greatness?
To every kid watching, I want you to hear me loud. You are not your zip code. You are not your last name. You are not your setbacks. You are your vision. You are your work ethic. You are your will. You are the quiet whisper inside you that says, I know there's more for me in this life. Hold on to that voice. It will be tested. The dogs is barking.
Son, don't worry. You're going to do it. You're going to make it. Okay? Because if they don't have the will to do it, they'll quit. You'll quit because you just can't do it because it's too damn hard. It really is.
The more time you spend alone with yourself, you will be able to understand who you are without any outside interference, without any friends, without any peer pressure of wanting to be like someone else.
I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party. Your body is a temple, and looking at my family members that had addiction to drinking, and I never understood why people want to be messed up.
There's a quote that I live by, early to bed, early to rise, makes a man young, wealthy, and wise. It's Benjamin Franklin.
That voice in your head of pain and suffering and discomfort and I don't want to do this is so loud. Calm it down. It's a patient calm that you have to bring to yourself.
You got to embrace the storms.
the fears that we have, the moments of suffering, they're all part of the process. They're all part of growth. It's nature, right? You got to be able to handle those things, man.
You need to understand, you can't win all the time. And unless you lose, you haven't even tried. And if you fail, at least you'll fail falling forwards.
I can tell you right now, every single one of you out there have exactly what you deserve. You might think that life is unfair. You might think that life dealt you a bad hand, but I'm here to tell you, life will give you exactly what you tolerate. And if you've been tolerating mediocrity, you've been tolerating average, you've been tolerating this victim mentality that you're carrying, then guess what? You have exactly what you deserve.
Everyone's hypercritical and terrified to do anything and put themselves out there and fail. So we hyperanalyze, hypercriticize, become paralyzed, and end up doing nothing, sitting in our basements watching TikToks of other people's lives, pretending that they're happy. I was having one of those cynical days and felt like ranting a little. But honestly, there's optimism here for some low barrier of entry personal growth. Stop analyzing, stop criticizing both yourself and others, and go fail at some shit. Go give someone a good job for sucking at something, because at least they're trying. Maybe it will even give yourself permission to do the same. We find meaning in trying difficult things, not just in succeeding at them.
You know, how you gonna knock somebody in the world for actually trying to do something? Trying. Since when has it become not cool to try? Fuck loser.
You are the only thing that matters. Lock in, believe in what you believe in. Nobody else matters. You have to hold yourself accountable. You have to hold yourself to your truth. You have to hold yourself to your beliefs. Don't worry about the haters. They ain't shit. Don't worry about the naysayers, because they ain't shit. At the end of the day, be true, be loyal, be perseverant. Just love yourself, man. King James signing off.
So many people might have been able to do so many awesome things if they could really do what they wanted to do instead of just, following the beaten path.
Bro, if you're succeeding at a life that you hate, imagine how great you'd be at one that you actually enjoyed.
Be who you want to be it now, right now. Just don't tell anyone. And be humble. Don't go around talking about the fact that you are whatever you want to be, to where they look at you and they say, well, that's a bit strange. So don't talk to people about it, be it.
I heard this quote the other day that I want to share with you guys. Now, I'm paraphrasing here, but it goes like this, is the person who goes to the gym every single day, regardless of how they feel, will always beat the person who goes to the gym when they feel like going to the gym.
And some of this is from clinical experience. You know, if you take people, and I've told you this, and you expose them voluntarily to things that they are avoiding and are afraid of, that they know they need to overcome in order to meet their goals, their self-defined goals. If you can teach people to stand up in the face of the things they're afraid of, they get stronger.
Do you know that the harder thing to do and the right thing to do are usually the same thing? Nothing that has meaning is easy.
I struggled my whole life, but I ran from it. So I started realizing, man, I gotta start facing the struggle, and I gotta be mentally strong for the struggle.
That's what it's supposed to feel like. If you are going toward greatness, it's supposed to be uncomfortable, it's supposed to stretch you, it's supposed to be a burden to a degree. Wrap your mind around that and accept it and embrace it.
What's the difference between a nice guy and a good man?
A nice guy gets along. Yeah, do that. Yeah, I'll do that. They don't necessarily have discernment or judgment, not sure what they stand for or stand against. It's like, yes, sure, yeah, hey. A good man has ideals that they stand for and they'll stand against, and when they're tested, a good man is not a nice guy.
When you look yourself in the mirror as a man and you say, I'm gonna control the things I can control, that's how you get better, that's how you take steps. But we gotta go to work every day. We gotta go to work every day to clean up this little that's holding us back, so we can be who we meant to be.
When you hear people say all the time, I don't want to do nothing that I'm not comfortable with, this person's in trouble. If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you'll fail. In order to succeed in life, you have to step outside of your comfort zone.
It got really hard for me to balance fighting and construction. There were times I thought about walking away from fighting. I remember I showed up to the gym without my truck, and my teammates was like, where your truck at? And I had tears in my eyes. And my teammates almost got mad at me because I didn't tell them I was struggling. I was so embarrassed. Couldn't afford to pay my bills.
I learned that I gotta do what I gotta do for me.
You gotta do what you gotta do for you. Whether that's separating yourself or getting deeper in or whatever you need to do, you need to make sure it's for you. Cause at this point, it's like your move. This ain't everybody else's move. Focus on you.
I'm 40 and I wasted my life. I've got nothing to show for it. No house, no savings, no career that I'm proud of. And if you're in your 20s or even your early 30s and you think you've got time, I'm telling you right now, you don't. You know, if you're in your 20s right now and you're listening to this, stop thinking you've got unlimited time. Stop doing it. You don't have unlimited time. You think it's harmless to keep chasing women and wasting money and avoiding responsibility. But one day, you'll wake up and you'll realize you've got no leverage. You've got no power, absolutely no clarity, and no way to get those years back. One day you will wake up and you will be 40.
The hardest thing in life, guys, isn't doing this stuff. Isn't going past your current levels of comfort, hitting new levels, getting knocked in your ass. That's not the hard part of life. The hard part of life is when you don't have the time to do this anymore and you didn't achieve everything you wanted to do. Think of that.
I didn't want to keep forgiving myself on Sunday and then repeat and do the same shit again Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and then go, oh, no, man. Cut the shit, McConaughey. Quit giving yourself that out, that parachute. Even though you may have it, look in the mirror and go, it's on you. Because it is.
There's consequences that you pay to constantly seeking comfort and avoiding discomfort and avoiding hard work. And those consequences are you're never going to feel self-realized. You're never going to feel like you accomplished anything. You're never going to have this feeling of understanding that difficulty and struggle and the ability to push through that is a muscle. And you develop that muscle by doing it. And once you do, you develop a lot of self-satisfaction and you develop peace of mind and you understand that you can overcome obstacles. If you don't have to overcome obstacles, you never know whether or not you can.
For you know, life is full of unexpected twists and turns. Things happen that you don't expect, that you could never have expected. So don't get too confident, even arrogant when you succeed, when you win and you're on a high. Equally important, you mustn't allow yourself to get down when you lose or fail. I mean, just remember, no matter how poorly you have performed, you're never hopeless. Keep going. Because the one thing you can be absolutely certain of is that the tables will turn. That's absolutely guaranteed.
The process of discomfort is inevitable. You have to go through it. You start going to the gym, you feel weak in order to become strong. You go to the library, you read, you don't understand, you feel stupid in order to become smart. Most people have that initial feeling, that initial lack of self-belief, because they don't understand that they have to be humbled first in every aspect in order to grow. So you go to the gym, you feel like that's a good thing. It just shows you that you need to improve.
So in other words, if you're on a high, be humble. And if everything has gone wrong, be hopeful and keep going.
My dad used to tell my mom I was going to be a world champ.
I told him he wouldn't be.
How'd that make you feel? Filled me with rage.
I paid the kids, I said, if y'all can whoop Bud, I give y'all $10 a piece. Couldn't whoop.
You went out on the street.
Yeah.
What's now Bud Crawford Street.
Yeah.
And offered $10 to anyone who can kick my son's butt.
Yep.
A lot of takers.
Yeah, kids in the neighborhood. Couldn't nobody whoop them.
What did he tell you?
He told you, Mom, I told you I'm the best. Some things that I said to him, I wanted him to be a man. Don't be afraid of nobody.
You made him champion.
He made himself champion.
The really good people aren't naive. They're tough as they can possibly be, and they've seen things, and then they decide to become good. Like some of the best people I met in my therapeutic practice, the best people morally were people who were who were on the surface. They had nothing going for them. Nothing worldly going for them. They weren't attractive. They weren't intelligent. They weren't accomplished. They weren't popular. In fact, they were often friendless. They often had devastated families. They had terrible developmental histories. They just had devastated lives, and yet there was still a core of ethical goodness to them that was stunning under the circumstances. Miraculous.
Be happy things happened. Don't be upset they're no longer here.
If everything existed in the way that it did when you miss it, you would never see it in the fondness that you see it now.
I think finding uncomfortable moments and embracing uncomfortable moments are one of the most important things a person can do. And if you don't do it, if you just avoid it, you have that uncomfortable moment, you just start boozing, or you take some pills or something and you just avoid it, you're never gonna figure out what was going on in the first place that led you down that weird road.
Going against the odds to be successful because it's not in your favor. The game ain't built for your success. You just gotta be a beast. You gotta be harder. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be meaner. You gotta be hungrier.
James Clear has this unbelievable insight. It doesn't make sense to continue wanting something if you're not willing to do what it takes to get it. If you don't want to live the lifestyle, then release yourself from the desire. To crave the result, but not the process, is to guarantee disappointment.
It's like I worked myself so hard that I turned a person this f***ed up into this mother right here. I knew my entire life was gonna be a struggle, which is why I just ignored it. And I said, I'm not even trying to jump off into this shit and learn how to read, how to write, how to memorize, how to become something I am not. But through that process, something happened to me. I was like, man, this rest of your life is gonna suck. It is going to suck, not because you're gonna be a loser, but because you're gonna finally start to win. And winning is not easy, my friend.
David Goggins told me that too, who's like the most mentally strong human being I've ever met. And he said, he goes, even though I run every day, sometimes I look at my sneakers, I stare at those motherfuckers for half an hour before I put them on. Just thinking of him. I don't want to do this. Yeah, but he does it. People want to think that people that are mentally strong don't struggle. No, you do struggle. You always struggle. Yeah. But you win every time. Right. You make sure that you win every time. And you can win every time. But you gotta develop that ability to make yourself do the things you don't necessarily want to do, but you know you should.
It's supposed to be hard. Everything worth pursuing comes with a little pain. The trick is not minding that it hurts.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up. The show's over. The clown's over. I don't want to waste my time with this clown show shit. All right? I'm very passionate about fighting. Sir. I'm very passionate about getting people better. When I started training 18 years ago, it wasn't about the fucking money. It wasn't about clips and views. You guys live in a different generation than I do, okay? That's why you guys call me fucking Unk. Yes, I am, okay? You guys want to get good, you gotta fucking train.
This is your new life. Take it or leave it. There's no happiness about it. There's no peace behind it. It sucks. It just sucks. And that's the one thing, if I could teach anybody, nothing is easy. It just fucking sucks. And it's gonna continue to suck. And then one day you'll get to a special part in your life that it might get a little bit better.
Everybody has problems. Everybody has issues. And the people that end up being successful are the people that push past those problems, that push past those hard times, and they stop being and sitting and complaining and blaming a whole bunch of shit in their past about why they aren't in the spot that they want to be at today. The only person that can change that trajectory of your life is you.
Tough times make a person strong because if you go through them now. Think about it. Think about the times you had to go through something really hard. It's coming back. It's how you are coming back. Because Shakespeare said, nothing is bad, it's all in the mind. I believe that.
If you think this world is about you, think again. Maybe you misunderstood something.
When you're a kid, you kind of go through your life thinking that you're the center of the universe, similar to how we as humans thought the earth was the center. You think your life is the story, right? Everybody around you is side characters, and some people are legitimately NPCs, and in their, life all they serve is a purpose to interact with you in one minute segment of your life, and then they kind of just fade into existence. But as you age, you kind of hit this one moment that everybody, not everybody, but majority of people do have when you're driving in traffic or something. Usually that's kind of when I think about it. You kind of think about Sonder and the idea that everybody's life is as complex as yours. Like when you're going through traffic, right? If you're ever sitting at a standstill and it's 2 a.m, you're like, where could this person possibly be going? Where did they come from? Oh my God, they're doing the same thing I am. They're living the same complex life I am.
Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with the journey. It's going to be mistakes. There's going to be ups and downs. The measure is not how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get back up.
What do you do on the days when you're just not feeling it?
Those days when I'm tired or worn out, basically sick of the grind, I go anyways. Don't really want to get up and get out of bed. I get up and get out of bed. Don't take today off. Not today. Wait until tomorrow. Don't give in to the immediate gratification that is whispering in your ear. Instead, go through the motions. Lift the weights, sprint the hill, work on the project, get out of bed.
If you go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. And if you go to the gym the next day and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing, right? So clearly there's no results, can't be measured, it must not be effective. So we quit, right? Or if you fundamentally believe that this is the right course of action and you stick with it, if you believe there's something there, you commit yourself to an act of service. You commit yourself to the regime, the exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day, you can skip a day or two. You know, it allows for that. But if you stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you'll start getting into shape, right? It's the consistency. Going to the gym for 9 hours does not get you into shape. Working out every day for 20 minutes gets you into shape. It's not about intensity, it's about consistency.